BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. Welcome to this 50 minutes of experience. I'm with Seth Harris today. Welcome, Seth.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, today we talk about your experience in photography and not only. And so just feel free to say where else you want. And as you know, I would like to ask you if you can introduce a bit of yourself, as not only as a photographer, but also as a person. So tell us something about you.
Okay. Well, my name's Seth. I'm 32. I like having, my day job and whatever, but then I like to do like a lot of different styles of art, and it's kind of evolved over time, but I have a lot of fun doing it. It's kind of like a little bit of an outlet. I started off doing when I first got into photography, I was doing like LinkedIn headshots and stuff like that, a lot of different corporate things, and it was like incredibly boring. So I wound up kind of making what I do now. It started like I've always, from a kid, I've always liked cinema and videos and movies, and I always wanted that to be like the thing. I've always wanted to like direct something, and I quickly realized that, all right, I can edit and all that kind of stuff, but I had to like know how to like composition and basic light work, and how lenses worked, and just like the flow of an image. So I immediately started getting into that, and just kind of trying to perfect that. And it turned into its kind of own thing. My first passion is definitely like video and movies, but it's kind of turned into its own thing. But one day I plan to kind of like fold it all into like one giant concept.
It's really cool. So I'm really curious to talk about the last work you did, and even this colors experimentation. I think also a lot with the long exposition and this light, sometimes a bit with the fog. And are you practically working on something? I mean, I think it's something really quite long from all the portfolio I can see. And are you trying to catch something probably you didn't catch until now, and you're trying, or what else? Tell me more about that.
I mean, I definitely if I would rewind in like a previous iteration of myself, would look at what I'm doing now, it would probably be pretty satisfied. But there is really strange. It's like when I don't know, it doesn't feel like you're making it almost. And so when like, I feel like right now I'm getting close to what I want to do, but I don't know. In terms of like long-term project like that, this has turned into its own thing, and it's been like a project that I'm kind of obsessed with. But there's like I have like a core story and thing I'm writing to, and then I plan to have all these visuals in like a complete like kind of cinematic work. But it's definitely, it's like I like the process of it a lot, because I'm it's like a free form kind of a thing. Like when I got like more confident in what the style that I'm doing now, especially if I have a good model and they cycle through their poses, it's almost like the good ones will, like, it's almost like performance art or like ballet or something, and they have these like loops, and and if I get a good one, like I don't really have to do much. I let them do their thing, and I usually have like a lot of different things and apparatuses around me, and I like you know, I like to warp different pieces of plastic and gels and find different things with different viscosities to kind of interrupt the light, and then there's like stuff to there's light to that can come behind you on a pane, and stuff in front or behind the model, and there's a lot of really good like movies that kind of utilize that, or like the director of photography really knows what they're doing, but that yeah, it's good. I just get into a flow when I
Yeah,
have to do
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you try this technique also outside from stage photography? I mean, even trying like I don't know, for a landscape, or even for street photography, or what else? Did you
Yeah.
try this technique?
um I don't know if I know how to photograph landscapes or things without people in them. I did try. um it's like it's like really hard when you have that setup, when you have all of these different things that you want the image to really be like when it's done. It like, especially outside, unless it's like dark out and you have everything like lined up the way you want. It's really difficult to get to control things, and I don't know. I've never been very good at, for instance, like urban photography or landscape or anything like that. I usually have to have like a subject doing something. But yeah, I don't know.
So, I got your point for sure. It's when you don't have this experience, it's difficult to then relate with. And what you can tell me about? Uh, do you do it music, as I've seen, and how do you think music and photography relate good in your case?
Well, music definitely. I mean, especially like if you're talking about the nuts and bolts of like a shoot, music can set the tone very quickly. You know, you can have just a certain kind of tone, or I like a weird mix between, like ambient electronic and like kind of a metal rock thing going on, to where and especially if it drones on and on and on and on, it's almost kind of like puts you in like a trance. And and then it kind of adds like the movement of the model or whatever, it highlights the feeling and the atmosphere of everything. And going back to like, I've always wanted I always wanted to figure out photography to aid me cinematically. When you do that, like, it does definitely, at least in my mind, make it feel like a moving portrait or fluid. So it's like a a screen cap of like a scene in motion or something like that.
So yeah, so you can describe in a way the feeling you have, or the emotion, or the energy, or the power you have with photography. I mean, what make you really feel that in a way what you do it as a photographer, or in any case when you do it images, it's something. Uh, it's something important in a way. I'm asking you to describe that, why it's important for you.
For me, um I don't, that's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, since I was a kid, I was like extremely visual. Like I gravitated towards more visual things or arts or making something. The visual was like first, and like if like sound and stuff, even though it's important, was kind of secondary to me. Uh, um, but I don't know. Like, I've always, if I see a good image, like a good image, sometimes you do a double take. and like look at it, or if it's something that doesn't make sense, you like try to kind of stare at it and make it make sense. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I've just always leaned more into visual than anything else. But I mean, the like ideas or moods can definitely spur like a little bit of a creative spat with me, but it usually is it comes out the other end in some visual form, whether it's video or photo or whatever.
Okay, cool, really cool. So what do you think? It's an experience that probably touched you in a way in photography.
Let's see. Well, there's been a few. There's a photographer named Nicholas Allen Cope, and he did a bunch of like kind of commercial shoots for like the industry, like cars and harsh angles and lots of black and white and contrast and stuff. And then he did a Manson cover for his album, The Pale Emperor. And for some reason, it was around the time that I decided to kind of more work on my photos and composition and stuff. And there was just like something about that cover that was just like, it was just so good. And then I started looking more at his stuff. And at that point I had never seen productions that he kind of underwent, like a lot of like kind of behind the scenes stuff. I mean, the way he sets up a shot, if it's kind of surreal or weird or whatever, there is so much production going on. It's like a movie set when he's creating. And just that like seeing someone be so in the zone and have all of their equipment and their ideas and all these things around in case the shoot leads to that, like he can call upon all this stuff and just kind of freestyle it. There's just something so much, like, it's very fun to put yourself in those shoes. But then there's like other like in terms of images, like Beksinski, I cannot pronounce his first name, but he's an oil painter, and his stuff is like absolutely otherworldly. The overlapping images of like biology and all the stuff going on. Man, I can't get enough of that. But yeah, and then it kind of bleeds into films like Panos Cosmatos. He's done some really great stuff, and I just love all of these guys that had like a lot of influence from like the 80s and stuff. And then you have like the people that did the original Blade Runner. There was so much, just tons of tungsten lights shining directly into the lens, which filled up all the space, and your mind can kind of fill in the gaps in terms of imagination. There doesn't necessarily have to be all this stuff on screen. So filling just flooding it with light and ambience in the context of a story really does something. But I don't know, to me all of that just kind of blends into one big thing, and it's I don't know, the creative process, it just seems like there's no end to the ways you can go about something and how much fun you can have and what you can create with it. But yeah, the process is super fun. It's almost like when you're done creating something, you're just like bored of it at that point. And yeah, I don't know, but it's there's a lot of guys that I look up to.
It's really amazing, really amazing. Thank you a lot for your talk today, Seth. Our 50 minutes are going over, and I hope to have other collaboration with you in the future, that we can doing something together. Thank you a lot.
Very cool. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
Thank you for listening to this podcast, and if you want to learn more about us, you can visit the link allmylinks.com, Berlin Explorer, or our website bexproject.com. And if you want to follow us, you can always get news from Instagram on our account BEEX Project. Thank you again, and see you in the next episode.